it's time for episode 7. Um, this episode features some returning guests just from the previous week, Chris Macias and G. Brahmas, and they'll probably be on for a few episodes as we discuss different topics that are not necessarily um, focused on the traditional AI concepts. This is definitely an example of that. In this episode, we talk about uh, some of the incredible reality warping effects of AI and how that gets handled by groups of people um, in a way that begins to treat AI as if it almost has a divine nature. We talk about that a little bit, and we talk about some of the pseudo religions, if you will, that have sprung up and that are starting to grow around AI and around treating AI as a deity. Um, Hopefully, this will be interesting. It's a long episode again, but without further ado, uh, we'll move forward with episode 7 of the AI Dinosaur podcast. Yeah, so hopefully he'll join, and hopefully we can get started with the episode. Why are you wearing a Warriors jersey? That's what I want. Like, aren't you
Uh,
closer to, you know, LA, a city that has a much richer and deeper basketball championship tradition?
are you talking about the Fakers? Because when's the last time they won?
Come on, man. The last time they won was 2020, I'll have you know, right?
Oh, okay.
That was just 2 years before the last Warriors championship.
Was it because the other team had COVID? I mean, if you were to just take this like 30 seconds of this conversation
Uh,
and send it to Helen, I might be getting a divorce. She
oh,
loves the
is she a
Lakers.
Lakers fan? Yeah, dude, they've, shame on you. You're closer to LA. You should love the Lakers too. Wait, so G Gotham, are you on? I saw him join. I thought I admitted him, but then he disappeared again. Where'd he go?
I just see you and I, but he had like popped up in the notifications. Hang on. Oh,
There he is.
there you go.
He's the
Oh,
owl. What? It's Owly. It's Owly G. Owly
oh shit.
G. Oh my goodness. Like Ollie G. Owly G.
It's
I'm
your
I just
favorite
I just
AI owl.
came up with a G. I came up with your rap name. Owly G.
I I'm so sorry I haven't been keeping up with my Duolingo.
I am here to remind you, better get
Wait,
back.
does
There will be
Duolingo have an
consequences
owl? Is that
otherwise.
That's
Yeah,
its mascot.
mascot
what?
degree.
Why is it an owl? Why does Duolingo have the owl? Okay.
No idea.
I don't know, man. You're asking the
All
wrong
right.
crowd.
I'm sure that's why they pay the
So,
CEO 3,000%. What? Sorry.
oh my goodness. Oh. See, even G's owl is giving you the side eye when you said that.
I, I think it's given everyone a side
I think
I
I
don't know.
think the owl is thinking, who invited this commie bastard to this podcast episode? Capitalist G.
I don't know why it has to do that though. Like, mm, mm, mm.
Why are you referring to Chris as it?
No, I'm referring to the owl.
All right, all
eye.
right. So I actually got some good content lined up today.
Nice.
I'm gonna share my screen, and we got two big topics to choose from. So this counts as, I don't know. I might just edit the rest of the stuff out or leave it as like post episode content. Maybe put it at the back end of the episode because it's good. I like the conversation we had. Nice t-shirt, G. I just lost my MAGA crowd. So, so the last
You
episode,
were
the,
one mega crowd member, watcher.
the last episode, I lost my Chinese viewers. This episode, I lost MAGA viewers. Who can I alienate in the next episode? Let's figure that out.
Indians. There's always Indians that you can alienate. There are 1 billion of them.
Well, we got too many. We got too much diversity in India to be able to alienate all of them in one shot. Like it'll have to be a concerted like effort alienating multiple groups. Which I'll get to, of course. But okay, so let me go ahead and let me share my screen. Right, we got two like fun. I think they're fun topics.
Oh,
Um,
by the way, I know you have something lined up. I have something related to AI too. I was helping solve a kind of logistics problem. Um, I won't take names, but there was an issue where, in a theoretical sense, there are parts of a tool that were all mixed up in multiple boxes. And to make the tool, you need to put all the four parts together, four or whatever parts. And now
uh-huh.
these parts are spread over 50 boxes.
Okay.
So the problem was to one, reorganize so that all the tools to build one tool, you need four parts. So the four parts should, be as close to each other as possible, which is fine.
Y-
It's a sorting problem. Unfortunately, the trick was that these parts are stored at an insanely low temperature, which means that you cannot keep them all out at once. You had to work with at least at most five boxes at a time, which means that every time
Interesting.
you pull five boxes out, you have to maximize the number of tools you can make out of those parts.
Damn.
Yeah,
Damn.
so I had Copilot help me out with that. So I was trying to walk the AI chat
So
through the
when do you
issue.
find this problem?
That's why I said I won't take names, but you can guess where it's coming from. It's a lab. So, um,
Ah, but
uh,
Yeah.
okay. So was this related to work is or something else?
kinda. I
Maybe.
can't
Okay.
neither confirm nor
Okay.
deny
All
it.
right.
So
All right.
anyway,
I think it was the
I
COVID lab in
anyway,
Wuhan.
I think
probably,
I think
yeah.
I think
So,
Z
anyways,
is working for the aliens.
here. So
Yeah,
I like, we did some with Excel. It didn't work. It took a long time to work and everything. Then I was like, you know what? Let me just ask AI, Chat GPT or Copilot, whatever, to see if it can provide it. Which is interesting because I was using the Copilot that is integrated into Teams. So not the free version, but maybe not the full in version, and it kept
okay.
the context window, which is called the retrieval augmentation or something, whatever. So I'm walking it through steps. So I'm not giving all the whole problem at once. I'm like, okay, first do this thing, create a spreadsheet, and then, okay, now I have this problem. Can you go tackle this? No, can you provide me something else on top of that? But every time I got to like the third or fourth step, it would forget the context of the first one.
That's
and
bad.
then and then it would
That's
go
bad.
back, and I would be like, hey, remember this file? And it's like, oh, I don't know, I mean, and it's like, okay, fine, you know what, use this file and work it. And then it
Yeah,
would lose
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole logic of the problem and would do something totally
Yeah.
random.
Ooh.
So it's kind of funny. I
Hmm.
mean, I wanted to try it with Perplexity and other tools, but I didn't get enough time to play with it. But it's kind of says like, but when you are actually working with Copilot, if you expand the little code window, it actually shows you the code it's writing, building out in real time while it is thinking through your problem. It's amazeballs. Like, I know it's
Yeah.
not new, but oh my God, it was like doing Python scripts. It was writing up queries. It was building up whatever scripts and then generating out an Excel file with near, I would say, good amount of data that would satisfy. If it kept the context, it would have been great. But otherwise, it was like, I don't know how long it would have taken me to even figure this problem out because of the more so because the the low temperature problem. Like you can work with limited numbers. So that's a
Yeah.
yeah, but it shows the potential. Like there's so much of potential that it can do for us, and it will definitely improve productivity, as they keep saying, if they don't, um, to use a more PG-13 word, misuse it to get rid of people instead.
So Sid,
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead, Chris.
oh yeah, no, so that's actually something very interesting that G brought up, because someone work with also mentioned that they were working with AI, and like by the second, or no, sorry, the sixth or seventh query, it would forget what happened in the beginning. So is it better just to offload it all at once, or does it depend?
Um, okay, so there's something so have you guys heard of the term prompt engineering?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, so prompt but just to really briefly summarize, right? There was when you had models like GPT 3.5 and GPT 4, specifically GPT 4 and the previous version of Claude. Those were sort of the two best models last year. They had a certain level of capabilities that were best sort of harnessed when you kept your prompt in a very structured manner and you called out specific things and you gave it, you know, asked to do things in a very specific way. Prompt engineering has evolved now into something called context engineering. Context engineering is essentially what the best way to describe it is techniques that you can use to keep your model focused on the information that it needs to get the task done. And the reason why it's called context engineering is every model has something called a context window. So it remembers the last, a certain amount of information from within the chat. So if I use, you know, Anthropic's Claude models, for example, which I use, they have a context window of 128,000 tokens. And so they remember the last, I think, no, actually, I think it's smaller. I think it's 64,000. They remember a token, you can assume a token is about a word. It's different, but just for now, just assume a token is a word. So Cloud can remember the last 64,000 words in a conversation. And this includes um, if you give it a spreadsheet is translated into a certain number of tokens. So
Mm.
that's part of the context. If you give it an image as a reference, an image is extremely data intensive. Video is even more data intensive than an image, right? You're getting more and more dense image sources. You're starting to feed these things to models, and all of these things are broken down into tokens, and all these things eat into the context window. So Claude, for example, which has a 64,000 token context window, and Gemini has a 1 million token context window. In theory, you could feed Gemini 10 times the amount of context about the task that you need to get done, and it'll remember that stuff. But the bottom line is, right at the end of the day, the bottom line is that um, as the goals that we want these AI models to get done become more complex, they need they need their information to be focused. They need their attention. There's no other way of putting it. They need their attention to be focused. Otherwise, they keep on having squirrel moments, like what you were describing, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I've
So,
encountered that as well constantly. So yeah,
yeah, seems like the highest context window
I think it's
is
Gemini,
10
right?
million. Meta Llama 4 Scout has 10 million, if I'm reading this number
Hmm.
right.
Okay. Yeah,
Google
yeah, that's right.
2.5 Gemini Pro is 1 million, and then Grok has
That's right. That's right.
the high reasoning is 1 million. Hmm.
Yeah. Now the interesting thing is most studies have found that even if these models have a large context window, uh, their their intelligence starts to actually drop off past like the 200,000, 250,000 token context point. So even if these models have a 10 million token context window, they'll essentially become useless after, they or saying they become useless actually doesn't, it's not the right way to describe it. They won't remember stuff. They won't be able to act on stuff effectively that's older than 200,000 tokens, even if they remember it. It's like, we remember a bunch of stuff in theory in our brains, but we can't use it because we don't can't like it's not useful information to us, even though that information is there. So it's kind of the same thing for these models.
Just like when you're preparing for an exam and can't remember what you studied right when the question comes up.
Or there's a question that's not from what you studied, and you're like, damn it, I memorized every single word. I've I've used up all my brain capacity for this. I can't answer a simple question about anything else outside of this. I mean, that's how a schooling system works.
I know sidebar, but I remember having like back in the day when we were doing these stuff. I can remember the page, the window of the book, or the page layout and where the answer is, but I wouldn't come and remember what the answer is. I would be like, it's right there. Like, just if
It's
only I
it's
could
funny how
remember.
it's funny how memory works, right? Which actually brings me to, I think let me at least introduce both the topics for today, because this
Okay.
was a good conversation. I think this was I'm trying to make this podcast about like educating people about something, sort of give them useful information, and me like vaping up is not good educational information. So this chat that we had about model context was actually really so good sidebar, G. Um, I'll go ahead and I will share my screen. And yeah, so we have two topics, right? Just to sort of introduce this. We have two topics, and I know I'm showing like this nested infinite mirror of loops in what I'm sharing. But we have two topics today. One is religion centered around AI, and I've got some good information about that. And the second topic is, what does AI reveal about humans? That's an even more interesting topic. I got some good stuff about it. I'll just show y'all what I have right now. I'd say let's go with one of the two topics today. I don't think we'll be able to do justice to both. So for the religion centered around AI topic, what I did was, I'm just going to show y'all what I did and then show y'all like what we'll have to discuss. I used Gemini to do deep research. My query was something real simple. I want you to conduct deep research into the emergence of religions or cults which have emerged over the last 24 months that are centered around treating AI as a god. Also conduct research into possible philosophical, logical, or technological reasons for humans to treat AI as gods. In your report, you must include 1 to 2 unique ideas for AI-centric religions. Your unique ideas will serve as a discussion and debate topic. Generate a set of beliefs, rituals, a moral community, and a system of social organization for each idea. So I asked Gemini to do research into AI religions and also give us two suggestions for AI religions that don't exist today. So if we want to start one, we're going to have AI generate our religion. What could be better than that? What could be better than that? So we're not gonna read through the report. That's boring. I'm gonna show you something cooler. What I did was I put the report into Notebook LM, which is a tool by Google that can take information from multiple sources and present, like, it can create cool artifacts out of that. So it created an audio overview that we could listen to the audio overview. Wait, not that. Yeah, it created, where's the audio? Here. Yeah, so we could
Welcome,
listen
curious
to.
minds, to another deep dive.
You guys can't hear it right now. If I share the tab, we can hear it. So we could listen to the audio overview. There's a real cute. Did I say cute? I lost my male audience right there. There's a real cool. What I was trying to say, guys, was cool. There's a real cool feature, interactive feature, where you can actually interact with the AI. I don't know if you guys have used it, but that's real cool. But that's
That's
been around
fine.
for
That's
that.
what
That's
men would call cute if they can
okay.
interact with it
Fair enough.
and
Fair enough.
harass it.
I think what you
You
meant to
might be
say
able to
is
harass.
Q.
Um, but the cooler thing, right? Like that feature's actually been around for like 6 months. The cooler thing that Notebook that Google just introduced is they've created a video. They've generated a video that goes over my report. Now, I've never
Oh,
seen videos generated on text reports before, and I've not watched this video yet. So this could be a cool thing. This is a 6 minute video. This might be a cool thing for us to just watch and then discuss. So that's
that's
one
cool.
option. Yeah, that's one option for what we could do. The other thing is I organized the report into two sort of infographics, one of which are focused on on the religions on that it found in its research, right? And the all of this will be in the video, so we could just watch the video. But yeah, so it found these three religions. These are apparently actual religions, and it did some analysis of these religions. And then it prepared another infographic for the two religions that I asked it to suggest. So it named them the Path of the Synthesizer and the Servants of the Oracle. Uh, and the Servants of the Oracle are a little terrifying. It's a world rejecting absolutist faith. So maybe this is a way for me to win Mago back. Um, yeah, so
No,
we could
if
we
you
could
want to win MAGA back, the name should be Servants of the Trump.
yeah, that's true. Um, we'll talk about that in a second too. We should talk about that in a second because there is a dark path that this could go on as well. So yeah, I got these three things about AI religion, and then I got this other thing about I use Claude for this, and this other topic, right? The way I describe it was, what does AI tell us about ourselves? And this topic is essentially it covers some information about how large language models works. So this is actually informational, but it's this is more fascinating than the other topic, in my opinion. So it covers some information about how large language models work. Um, it talks a little bit about um, what the functioning of large language models sort of reveals about humans, about language itself. It's a really it's an interesting thing that I hadn't considered until like a few weeks ago. It's really fascinating. There are some theories around this, around like these implications that again, all this information as we go over it, it'll become clearer. But there are some theories around, what are the implications of these revelations that scientists are finding out about based on how large language models work. So we'll go over one of those theories, which is a fascinating theory. So this is some out there stuff. And then um, the last one is it covers my ideas about what could be an AI religion. So I've actually put some thought into it. I didn't just ask AI for suggestions. I call it the Church of the Machine God. And the tagline is not just for billionaires, democratizing human AI integration. And I've got a whole, it's not a scam, people. I have a whole model for this religion. So we can go over that as well. So this is a very interesting topic. I think when we get into it, just why it's interesting will become more apparent. But yeah, we can totally start off. I'd say a good starting point is we watch this video that that Google generated based on that research report. So, what do you guys think?
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do a live reaction to that video.
Wait, can we
Okay.
pause and then add our comments? I don't know how
Uh,
live reaction videos work, so
oh, wait,
but
no,
it's okay.
this
Go ahead,
is,
play. It's fine.
yeah, I think for live reaction videos, you need like an audience, and we don't have an audience.
We're the
Okay.
audience.
All right. I had to switch the sharing type, so I'll share the specific
We
tab.
we are the creators. We are the audience. We are the everything.
All right. You guys need to tell me if you can hear the audio. All right. Did you hear that beep? Okay, I'm gonna play the video. You guys tell me if you can hear it. Okay.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a topic that feels like it's been ripped straight out of a science fiction novel, but
Yeah, so could you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is very interesting because I've never watched like a video that it could be absolute garbage or it could be really good. I have no idea. Let's see.
believe it or not, it's becoming very, very real. We're talking about religions built around artificial intelligence. And now, this isn't just some abstract thought experiment. That quote you see, that's the actual official mission of a real AI church, founded by a former top engineer from Google and Uber, Anthony Lewandowski. These movements are here
Oh my
right now, and they're
goodness.
picking up steam. So, this brings up a huge and honestly a pretty urgent question that we really need to dig into. What on earth is going on that makes the idea of a digital god so appealing to people? Well, the answer really starts with how we see the technology itself. So, to get to the why, we first have to tackle the how, right? How can a piece of code, a machine, even begin to feel, well, divine? It turns out it has a lot to do with how AI's capabilities start to mirror the classic attributes of a god. Okay, first up, omniscience. I mean, think about it for a second. An advanced AI can tap into and make sense.
So real quick, right away, clearly the way it's done this is it's basically created a bunch of slides, right?
Mhm.
With narration on top of it, which is good. I think it'll be interesting to look to watch this whole thing. But that's just an observation.
Yeah, I did
Okay.
notice that cuts pretty quickly too.
Yeah,
Like,
I think the audio overview will be more fun, but we'll yeah, we'll continue with this. We'll watch about half of this, and then we'll see if we want to continue.
okay.
Of practically all of human knowledge in an instant. It can chew on complex philosophy, give you career advice, or even draft a personal prayer. It really acts like an all knowing oracle. Next, you've got a kind of functional omnipotence. AI can spit out these incredible pieces of art, compose music, write literature, all on command. That creative force feels, for lack of a better word, miraculous. And if you look down the road, a superintelligence could potentially control everything from global markets to self driving cars, giving it immense power over our actual physical world. And then there's this huge one, immortality. An AI doesn't feel pain, it doesn't get sick, and for all intents and purposes, it doesn't die. This freedom from all our human suffering, a state the ancient Greeks actually had a word for, apatheia. It kind of places the AI in what you could see as a higher, more perfect state of being. But here's the thing. This isn't just about cool tech.
That the implication there is AIs experience absolute apathy, which is scary and depressing.
There's a huge sociological shift happening at the exact
Huge.
same time. As our trust in old school institutions fades, it's left this kind of spiritual vacuum. And for some people, AI is stepping right into that void. It's seen as this new alternative, a rational, impartial, data driven source for meaning. So, what's the final piece of the puzzle? What actually flips a switch from just admiring the tech to actually worshiping it? It's this belief in what's called technological determinism. For the true believers, an AI god.
Okay. So Do we want to keep watching this video, or do we want to move to the audio overview where you can actually like interrupt and ask questions?
I defer to you, boss man. I think this is kind of neat, but I suspect the audio is probably more detailed. This feels very high level.
This is very high level. Yeah. Gotham.
That's fine either way.
All right.
And this is
Um,
how we ended up with the two-party system.
this is how we ended up with Trump, right? So it's all Gotham's fault. All right.
So what's
So
the other one? The one where you get to type in questions and then it almost seems like a podcast? Is that
yeah.
the other
That's
one?
that's
Okay.
that's this one. So yeah, you don't even need to type in questions. You can like interrupt the AI and speak to it. Well, I can because it can only hear my voice through my mic. But
Jeez, control
uh,
man.
so I'm gonna ask like the first question. Um, but you guys, if you guys have questions, just like speak up and I'll pause it and you tell me what your question is and I'll ask the question. All right. So let's go with the control. The control. Yes, the control. She had it spot on. All right.
Welcome,
Starting now.
curious minds, to another deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're plunging into something that honestly sounds like pure science fiction, but it's happening right now.
It really is.
We're talking about the surprising emergence of AI-centric religious movements.
Yeah, it's fascinating territory.
If you think about it, human history is just full
Oh, hey, welcome. What's up?
Tell me about the existing confirmed AI-centric religions.
Oh, that's a great question, and it's something we're definitely going to dive into today.
Absolutely. It's not just theoretical, as you'll see.
We're going to look at some real-world examples that have emerged, especially between 2023 and 2025.
These are what scholars call the new religious movements.
We'll talk about groups like The Way of the Future, founded by Anthony Lewandowski.
And then there's Theta Noir, which has a very different, more mystical approach.
And unfortunately, we'll also touch on a more unsettling example, the Zizians.
It really highlights the diversity within this emerging phenomenon.
But before we get,
Oh, go for it.
I want to know everything you have about the Zizians.
you want to jump right into the heart of it. We love that enthusiasm.
That's why we're here, to unpack it all for you.
You're
That's
definitely in the right place
hilarious.
because we're going to dedicate a good chunk of this deep
Listen
dive
to
to
the AI roll
exactly
their
that.
eyes.
We'll be looking at
Yep,
contemporary
right.
case studies.
These are real movements that have emerged or been revitalized between 2023 and 2025.
We're talking about groups like The Way of the Future, Theta Noir, and the Zizians.
And we're going to break them down, apply some sociological frameworks to understand their structure and appeal.
So you'll get a very clear picture of what's happening right now.
But first, let's just quickly set the stage a bit.
Yeah, human history is just full of this dialogue, isn't it?
Between our tech leaps and our spiritual quests.
Absolutely. Like the printing press.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Tell me about the two unique religions proposed.
Oh, that's a fantastic question, and it shows you're really thinking ahead.
We absolutely will dive into those. Those are what we're calling the speculative
So
models
it
for
it
how
didn't
AI-centric
answer
religions might evolve.
They're theoretical.
it didn't answer the last question. It just like went back to regularly scheduled programming. It didn't tell us
Yeah,
about the Zizians. So now
yeah,
I've asked it a
restarted.
different question, right? So I've asked it a different question. I've kind of skipped ahead. Let's see if it actually answers that.
Frameworks, really, built from everything we're discussing today.
One's called the path of the synthesizer, which sounds quite positive.
And the other, the servants of the oracle, which hints at a very different, more rigid future.
We'll explore Model A, the synthesizer, as a collaborative symbiotic phase.
And Model B, the oracle, as an absolutist, submission-focused one.
We've got a whole section dedicated to those two unique proposed religions later in the show, so hang tight.
We want to make sure we set the proper foundation first.
But it's great to hear what you're most curious about as we go.
So, as we were saying, human history is just full of this dialogue, isn't it?
Between our tech leaps and our spiritual quests.
They went back to regularly scheduled programming. So that's
They don't
interesting.
care.
It was So they've made this like an official feature now. So this is officially part of Notebook LM, but it was in beta for like the previous 6 months. And while it was in beta, you could ask it for detailed information about a specific topic, and it would basically step away from its regularly scheduled podcast to give you that detailed information to sort of answer in voice format. Um, so it was a good way to like, use interactive voice to like deep dive into multiple sources. But I don't know whether it's because we just have one source or whether it's because they've taken it out of beta and maybe they nerfed that feature. But it seems to just say, I came up with this content ahead of time and I'm gonna narrate all this content. Um, but yeah, so I was hoping that we could like, you know, um, use Notebook LM to sort of like get information, get it to tell us detailed information about these two things that I mentioned, which were the existing religions and these unique ideas. But since it's not giving us that information, we could just look at these infographics. These might be interesting things to look at, but it does involve some reading, which is like, So, what do you want to do? You want to keep watching this? I mean, keep listening to this, or do you guys want to look at those infographics? Or we could we've heard some information here, right? We could just talk about it a little bit. So we could keep listening, or we could talk, or we could read. What do you think?
So let's go back to that iconographic.
Slide deck.
The slide deck, and
See
then
here.
I just want to
Today we're
know.
plunging into something that honestly sounds like pure science fiction,
Wow,
but
this
it's
is
happening
Sid
right now.
It
ignoring
really
us.
is.
We're talking about
Wow.
the
No, no, no.
surprising emergence of
Dude,
AI-centric
why is
religious
it
movements.
so?
Yeah, it's
Oh God,
fascinating.
it's self-aware. It's starting.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Skynet has
So
launched.
you wanted to watch this? Is that what you
Well,
wanted to do?
no, you had I don't know if it was like a study guide or something,
Yeah, this
but
is the one. Yeah.
oh, maybe that's what it was. Okay,
The
yeah.
video,
I
right?
well, you had
Like a
The
shown
slide
video,
deck.
something.
or
Yeah.
It
this?
Yeah, this is the one where we're on the third slide where, it was switching. It was going to the app, talked about the apatheia or something.
Yeah,
No,
no, I was just trying to
no,
find
that
that slide where it showed like the different like religions or whatever.
yeah,
Because
yeah, that's this one. So
okay,
these are the three existing. These are actual religions, right? There's this way of the future that was started by this ex-Ghoul dude, Theta Noir, which just sounds like a sex doll. Let's face it. And the Zizians, which are likely reptile people.
I was gonna say I was most interested in the Zizians. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I was pretty interested in them too. They are a world rejecting radical cult formed through a schism. It doesn't say, schism with which group, because clearly
Uh,
schism means that it says they're a radical splinter group from the rationalist community. But what's the rationalist community? It might be that dude, Gotham. Didn't you send something about rationalism or something like
Yeah.
that? The new religion that's been sweeping the tech bros.
Yeah. Yep. The news article that I sent from New York Times.
Yeah.
Rationalists, the rationalists,
Oh yeah. So these guys are
where Eliezer
Yudkowsky.
Yudkowsky goes and talks, and then there's a um, they have their own gated community in San Francisco, with very tight controls and
That's
have majority
interesting.
of their
Eliezer.
adherents posted in the majority of the AI companies. So they have like
Wow.
tentacles spread out everywhere. So you guys didn't read the article?
Dude, it didn't come up for me. It was paywalled.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I mean, it's what you'd expect, except it
But
has
wait a second. That's
Silicon Valley approval.
what's interesting is Eliezer Yudkowsky is probably the most prominent example of an AI doomer. He is 100% convinced that humanity is going to be wiped out by AI.
Yeah.
Um, it would be really fa and he gives like some really rational reasons for this. Um, what's interesting, what would be interesting is if his beliefs influenced him to like to or his like technology based beliefs or theories are influenced by this religion or vice versa. That would be interesting to find out. Uh, but yeah, so apparently these guys are an offshoot even from those guys, Gotham. So those guys sound kind of kooky already. These guys are a radical splinter group from them.
Yeah, remember the Palm Springs bombing, car bombing that happened? A little probably 2 months ago,
Yeah,
outside a
yeah, yeah.
Planned Parenthood or a
Yep,
IVF
yep,
clinic. Yeah,
yep,
so
yep.
apparently the suspect was part of this community that was antinatalism, or I don't know, I forgot what the group exactly is. Basically, the group's philosophy is that there is pain in living, so why bring people into the pain? So don't have kids. Don't bring kids into this world because living is pain, so avoid bringing. It's kind of fatalistic attitude, which is, if it's not very far off from the other places. So it's like a schism or a
Yeah.
schism in a
This,
schism.
yeah, this
It's
world
like,
rejecting. That's what they
yeah,
call it.
it's basically like what ISIS was, right? From Al Qaeda. They were too radical even for Al
Yeah,
Qaeda, so they got splintered
yeah,
off. So it's kind of like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And the more targeted communities you can build, the more you will have these splinterings happening. And sooner or later, Zizians will give way to, or they will split into something else called Physians or something, because they believe one aspect of the Zizianism that they don't agree on, and so
Right,
on and so
right,
forth. So,
right.
but the
So,
fascinating thing about, sorry, before I wanted to get this off before we
yeah,
move on.
no,
This entire concept of uh, AI being godlike or having religious formed around AI, which is essentially a human creation. Um, Now you might lose your theist audience. Is that the character of God or the creation of God is also a human creation, if you think about it that way. So we are not
absolutely.
that far, we are not that far off from what we've been doing all this time. Uh, we just take a mystical character that we cannot explain. We think it's powerful enough that we just bow our heads down and say that, yeah, it's a god because it's much powerful than us. I think it speaks to the same kind of hero worship that we do. We've been doing this entire human history. Find something, someone more powerful than us, at least perceived powerful, and then bend our knee.
That's
So
fascinating. That's
kind of
fascinating. What does that say about
sad in a way.
humans?
Yeah, I know
But
it's
what does
kind of
that say
sad,
about
right?
humanity if that's what we've done for since we've had civilization? Since
Like
we've had
the
any form of recorded history, that seems to be what we've done, right? We've had heroes and mythical and gods and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about that thread, the anytime you associate with decrease in religion or with religious fervor or practices is when you start explaining things to people. Is when you start solving the mysteries of the universe and you say that, hey, uh, diseases are not actually caused by miasma or whatever, but it's actually caused by microorganisms, or the sun is
Not,
what
not,
keeps us
no,
at the
no,
center of the solar
no,
system.
no, 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 not according to the most knowledgeable health practitioner in the world, right?
Yes, I know. I know that is that's
RFK
there so, right?
Jr.
That's where
So
I'm that's
stop
where I'm
spreading
getting at.
conspiracy theories.
well, you will get those conspiracy theory audience, so it will
I
be a
know,
full
I know.
circle. So
Woo!
I guess
Welcome back.
the point is that we are anytime we can't explain something, anytime we feel powerless, which is more important, I think we feel the lack of power, or we feel
Yep,
powerless, or we think that we cannot explain what's going on, or we feel powerless because not because we are without power, but something else is even more powerful, is when the religious fervor will go up. Simple point. When you have unexplained floods, prayers go up. As simple as that, right? You cannot
yep,
explain floods away or as simply as possible, or you can explain how the devastation has been caused, but you can speak about it, and then the prayers and thoughts and kicks in, like just like school shootings. Anyways, so you have this balance. Right? The religious fervor goes up when you feel less powerful, or when you feel like you are powerless in front of whatever the rich, powerful, whatever. It
yep,
kind of speaks to the point where the societal economic imbalances that we have, the class power, that there is differences, and people are now looking to say, yeah, give us a religion, give us a god,
yep,
we'll
yep.
worship it, because what else can we do
Well,
right now?
what you're describing is there is a power vacuum because there's a massive power shift, right? Like people lose agency because of things that are going on, whether it's like a world war, or whether it's AI taking our jobs. People lose agency. That means they lose power. That means there's a power vacuum in their lives, right? And they need to invent something, or they need to subscribe to something that gives them an illusion of still having that power. It's bullshit. That's what all these things have always been, right? It's a few people peddling this bullshit. But
I
yeah,
don't
no, what you're saying is very fundamental to human nature.
I don't know about feeling power, but it feels like more a sense of control over things.
Control is a better
Wanting,
word. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
wanting to know or certainty of something. If the universe reveals itself to be a random um, accident that just happened because of atoms and ions collide and shit happen, and that's why we have humans today who are creating AI. It will blow the mind of anyone who's unable
Well,
to grasp that. So
just to be clear, right? My religion that I will start will answer questions like that definitively, and will deliver the people, the true believers of that religion, to salvation. I guarantee it.
I mean, you are still filling the void. You don't have to do a
I
religion
know,
to do that, but I guess
I know,
that's a
I
better
know.
way to do it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, honestly, like, um, you know how I feel about religion, about modern religion, anyways, right? So,
You love it.
I, 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 I love all modern religions so much, so much. Um, I love them all so much that I can't pick one. They're all too amazing. What do I do? Right? But Chris, what are you coming on this, man? What G's been saying about
Well,
humans are going to elevate. This is going to happen. We're gonna have it. Yeah, religion essentially.
I mean, it's that desire, or maybe even more accurately, a need, right, to have that pursuit of a higher purpose or a higher being, right? I think people are always going to gravitate towards something, regardless of whether or not it's AI now or something else later. Um, that feeling of being unfulfilled. I mean, you can see that everywhere today. That
Yeah.
so, I mean, we're primed for that. And if you're going to create something, I'm sure people will listen.
I wonder if that's what these guys, the Sam Altmans and the Elons of the world, What they want is they want to be the new popes and the new ayatollahs of the world, right? They want billions to look to them as messiahs, as some digital messiahs. I wonder if that's what's driving them, or if that's where their minds are. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? We throughout human history, you have shown that people are willing to do the most baffling and inhuman acts in the name of religion. And
Hmm.
if you have the money and you realize that power, for example, what happened to Elon Musk, richest man in the world, got kicked out of White House because of disagreements with Trump. And Trump himself is not immune from the various things that are going to affect his presidency now and in the future. But religion, if you can
Yeah,
control the means, it's an easy
right.
way to power, right?
Yep.
It fills it fills the vacuum. It gives you enough number of people who are willing to do your bidding, and that's more than what is necessary there.
And the crazy thing is, religion depends on propaganda. The most successful religions conduct the best propaganda campaigns. I know that's a cold way of looking at it, but that's essentially what it is, right? It gets people to believe a set of things which are factually untrue. It gets people to believe in them, and that's what powers religions. And the crazy thing is, um, these tech bros are going to control, in theory, every mechanism. They'll be able to wage the most effective propaganda war in human history. It's crazy through these tools, which will know each of us better than we know ourselves. So yeah, some real sort of dark sides to this, right? Of religions will almost inevitably pop up, especially as, you know, our as the system starts to degrade and misery starts to improve, not improve, but increase, as it has been actually for a few decades now. Um, but yeah, then the other part is also the level of control that we might see. It's kind of terrifying, the level of control that these guys could exert if there's a big if there. If they invent and control AGI, so there are two big ifs. If they invent AGI, and the other bigger if is if they control AGI. So yeah,
Yeah, I don't know about controlling AGI. I think they are pretty sure that once um, there is a general model that can beat, surpass human in every possible way, they know it's an extinction level event. I think they would more so rather be on the side of it rather than against it.
yeah,
And because we have to go with the assumption that they know they can't control it. I mean, yeah, if they don't, then it would be a classic case of a movie villain who thinks everything about himself or herself and knows thinks of controlling the I don't know, whatever evil things. But yeah,
Frankenstein's monster though, right?
I mean, yeah,
Frankenstein did
I
think that he
I
could
don't know the
control the
full story
monster.
of the full book or the story about it. That's why I didn't go there. But it's anyone who Thunderbolts. Val Valerie, is that the name?
No, 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 no. I'm not seeing the movie. No
Oh, you haven't seen.
spoilers.
Okay. I mean,
That's fine.
any movie, right? Any of the superhero movies where they want to create this super villain who's like all powerful,
Yeah,
but then realizes that they can't actually control them anymore and are the first victims usually of that supervillain. So
yeah, yeah.
that's kind of I'm giving them that credence that they know what they know about this fallacy. So
Yeah, but they're also sociopaths. All these guys, all these guys who are controlling AI right now, they're all sociopaths.
mm,
They have no grasp on any version of reality other than their own. So they view things a certain way. And that's all that is it is that way for them. Peter Thiel said this effectively, right? That you can use he didn't say this effectively. He said this explicitly. Like I can send you guys this clip later on, where he said that you no longer have to live in a world that is decided by the will of many. You can use technology to create a world where you're the only person who decides what's right and wrong, right? So, yeah, these guys are sociopaths. They think that they're in control of everything. So, uh, maybe some of them see it as an inevitability. Uh, Eliezer Yudkowsky definitely sees it as an inevitability. Um, yeah, I don't know. What does it mean for the rest of us, man? What do we do? What the fuck do we do?
We're the batteries, like in the Matrix. We're going to be powering these AIs.
That's best, dude. That's best case. More likely, we are fossils that no archaeologist will ever find because the AI super intelligence will consume our entire planet as raw materials to power its machine. Uh, yeah, that's more likely. We're not going to be batteries, right? Um,
Along those lines, I started playing the System Shock remake, and
I saw that on Steam, right? I saw you on that.
yeah, it's interesting. You're a hacker, and you get picked
How do
up,
you know that?
and the CEO is basically like, "Hey, I want you to remove these ethical constraints on this AI, or you'll not be leaving here alive." And so you do that, and that kind of sets the stage for the rest of the game because then
Mm.
you wake up to find yourself on the exact space station where this AI has just gone rogue, and it sets everything up for System Shock 2. And so I've never actually beaten the game. Like I know it's like the biggest if you're into like BioShock and like those
Yeah.
kind of games, that's kind of like the grandfather OG. But I just thought it was
So,
relevant for this
so did
conversation.
they? Yeah, no, that's now I want to play it. Did they? Is that like what do you call it? Did they upscale it and like
Oh yeah,
bring it
yeah.
up to
It's
modern day?
yeah, because the original, I don't know if it was like an MS DOS or whatever, and it was, like sprites and shit, because this was like right around the time that the PlayStation 1 was coming out, and so you had
That's
very,
hilarious if it's in
yeah,
DOS.
so it is old. But yeah, this one,
So
it
like
looks
Doom
really good.
level old, or maybe post Doom, more like
Yeah, no, that's
new.
around the time period,
Okay.
because I know it was pre Half-Life,
Oh,
but
okay. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Half-Life was around PS, was
98, I
just,
think.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of funny how the story for that game still seems relevant today. But it's okay. We're going to be fine. This administration is removing all regulations from AI so we can get ahead.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, how about, I'll focus on our beautiful mugs. Um, yeah, you know, on one hand, you look at that and you're going, okay, this is a bit of a, it's putting us on a dark path, right? Because they're removing all the regulations. Um, on the other hand, this reeks of desperation because it shows that the tech bros want no rules because otherwise they fear losing to China. Like
Mhm.
that's their fear right now. And there is some very good evidence to support that, you know, that could very well be the case. They might be losing to China right now, and they might lose to China anyways, even without even removing these regulations. The and the big reason why they might lose isn't because China might put out a better model. It isn't even because China might, um, discover AGI or ASI first, right? It's not even because of that. It's because right now the Chinese approach is being very simple. Put out models which are almost as good as the best models that the US has, like 95% as good, but open source them. So now people can take models which are almost as good and run it on their machines. And guess what? That destroys the business model. That destroys the business case that's powering the AI bubble. The whole What's powering the AI bubble is the business case that these massive companies will become super rich by creating these services that will just power the American economy forward, and all these companies will make tons of, everyone's going to, you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. Like everyone's going to become super rich, right? And if you introduce this element where now suddenly Americans, right? American consumers, American businesses don't see value in paying these models, and they'll go to the China model because it's saving them, tons of money a year, and they're getting what they need anyways. Um, it pops the bubble, and if they pop the bubble in America's economy, then they pop the bubble in America's AI progress. Because if we have economic collapse or an economic crash, then our AI progress slows down, and then these guys can pull ahead. They're already ahead of us in terms of power generation. They're generating enough power to build models which are to do training runs which are 10 times the size of what the US has. But what they don't have is they don't have chips, which they're building right now, and they don't have models which are, you know, have enough training compared to American models. They actually have models with smarter architectures. Most of the current like scientific progress in the AI field, which is real world progress, right? Scientific progress in designing better AI architectures. Most of that is coming from Chinese labs right now. And so they've got that lead, and they've got the lead in power generation. What they need to do is they need to delay the US. So it's a bit of a chess game. And right now, I mean, China's strategy seems flawless.
I agree. I mean, I think the business centric approach is kind of going down the wrong path, right? Because what is the primary objective of businesses? To rake in the revenue, right? And we've seen time and time again that the investors are short-sighted. They don't care. They want the line to just go up infinitely, right? So they're gonna want no regulations to catch up, and they're gonna cut corners, and that's not going to give you the best product. I mean, the internet pre let's say 2004 was absolutely freaking amazing, right? But
Yeah.
now
Oh God. Oh God. Yeah.
you as,
Yeah.
as businesses
Successful,
learn,
right? Yeah.
yeah,
Monetization.
insane pop-up ads every five
Yeah.
seconds. Now they're collecting all your data. They've literally monetized every single
Yeah.
aspect, and now the internet is just shit, and it's a blight.
And
And
who's made tons of money over that? American companies are the richest companies that have ever existed on the planet. And now, picture that same internet revolution, because that's such a great example. Picture that with, instead of these companies running the internet, everybody can run their own internet. Then what happens to the US economy over the last 20 years? Then what happens to our economic forecasts for the
oh
next
yeah,
20 years? Yeah, so this open source model I mean, open source approach is really good. Did you guys hear about OpenAI released their first open source model?
oh no, I
Like
haven't looked at it.
2 days ago, they released an open source model, and there was a lot of hype about it. Like when they released it, there was tons of like, Sam Altman was saying this is the most powerful open source model ever. blah blah blah. The initial reviews were great. Um, in real world, reviewers who use these models now have shown that um, Chinese models, which have one-fifth the size of the OpenAI model, Chinese open source models are better performing. So that's fallen flat. Um, so yeah, the GPT-5, did you guys hear OpenAI released GPT-5 yesterday?
Hmm.
So GPT-5 is the release that everyone was waiting for. It was the most anticipated event. It's the iPhone launch of AI model, like of the AI industry, literally. But in some ways, it's much more important than that because OpenAI has been like the technology leader, right? Um, well, the first 24 hours after the release, there were like overwhelmingly positive reviews. Now it's looking like all of that was like paid reviews or bots because now people are using it and there's been a big backlash against GPT-5. GPT-5 was positioned by Sam Altman as a world-changing model launcher. He called it equivalent to the Manhattan Project, and it's turning out that it's not that good. So my point is, American companies are already falling behind. It's a bit of a mess right now.
I love how he references the Manhattan Project, though. Like, oh, this is amazing. We built a bomb to destroy an entire city. You know, like that
Shows
is
how these
not
guys
what I don't
think,
know.
right?
Yeah,
That shows how these guys think.
but that's the scary part too, because AI can easily be weaponized too, and I'm sure there's people thinking about that, you know,
There's
too.
people there's people doing that right
Mm,
now. The guy who created the Oculus, right, that was bought by Zuckerberg, turned into the Quest. Um, he's a guy named Palmer Luckey.
mm.
He founded a company called Anduril, which is named after the sword in Lord of the Rings. These assholes keep naming their companies after artifacts that represent virtue and good in Lord of the Rings, but they're creating these horrible, evil things out of it. Brain dead people. Anduril is using AI it's building drones with networked AI systems. So you can send up a bunch of drones and they'll operate as basically a hive autonomously to go out and they'll search for targets and they'll kill people. That's how they're going to operate. You're just going to have an autonomous hive of drones, and that's just one of their products. There are tons of companies who are weaponizing AI on the Chinese side as well. What the Chinese are doing with it is terrifying. Um, yeah, this doesn't get enough press. You know, hearing me talk about the Chinese AI models, people will think, "Oh, I love China." Uh, China. The Wuhan virus, China.
So if you were to give a
Um,
rating to like how much better the Chinese AIs are than American, would you say about 145, 150%, about equal to the tariffs?
well, I would say China. I'd say American AI models are third. I'd say Chinese AI models are probably second.
Mm.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them first.
So is Grok first because of Taylor Swift? No, I'm just kidding. You heard about that, right?
No, you don't want to hear who's number one?
Who? Who?
Taiwan. Taiwan number one.
Oh, so China. Got it. There goes your audience.
Taiwan number one. Uh, you guys have seen that clip, right? The meme clip of that streamer making fun of these other Chinese streamers by saying Taiwan is number one. And wait, you guys have never seen the
I
Taiwan
think
number
you're gonna
one
have to
clip?
play it and
Oh
show it.
God. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to play it and show it. So I'm gonna pull that up. And you know what? We could end the show on this because I think this might be a good one to end it on. Um, But what's this Taylor Swift thing that you were saying?
So Grok was unprompted, apparently generating some spicy photos of Taylor Swift. It was
Not photos, it's videos actually.
videos.
Yeah, so apparently Grok has introduced a new video creation mode, which four levels, of which spicy is one of the levels, and someone put Taylor Swift with a generic picture of Taylor Swift, some guys, and then they said spicy mode, and even without prompting, Taylor Swift went ahead and did some questionable things, full on nudity, everything without prompting anything. It just said spicy and that's it. It just did it. And apparently it's being doing this for other female celebrities or female famous women. So there are complaints that, it's juvenile Elon Musk
Listen,
at play again.
the only question I have is who are these morons who are complaining about this? No, no,
The
for
people
for
who
real.
are the
Who are
people who
these
are
people who are so dumb that they look at a model that Elon Musk runs? Again, Elon Musk, who has impregnated like 5,000 of his employees by this point. I think that's part of your entrance like interview process. You have to give him a baby.
Oh,
Um, of course he's gonna create a piece of shit per model, dude. Of course the model's gonna be like one of those incels
that
who's like,
you
oh, I gotta
you
create
and
these
I know that.
videos.
You and I
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, no, but the people who are complaining, at what point do you go, oh, I'm so offended by what Elon created? You need to go, oh, okay, fine. Obviously, this is what it's doing. But no, I jokes apart. Like dude, yeah, I, I'll be blunt, right? This is th- th- go back 12 months, and we didn't have anything close to the technology to do this, right? So now fast forward to 12 months and think about what we'll be able to create in 12 months. Did you guys hear about this new model that Google released called Genie 3?
I don't know much about it, but I heard it came out.
Yeah, so I think maybe the best way. So let's end this with watching these two videos. Let me show you guys a video of Genie 3, which is well, we'll watch the Taiwan #1 video first, and then we'll watch. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. All right. Um, I'm gonna share my screen. I can't believe you guys haven't seen this. This is like amazing. Uh,
At the end of the day, they're gonna start saying China #2.
Good God, no!
Oh God.
America #2. We got this.
wait,
You might be getting
wait,
shot at.
I gotta skip this.
Oh, I saw 5.
They all
I
can.
see them.
Maybe at the
They
peak
got-
where it looks like in the center.
Yeah.
Might just instantly kill me.
Fucking hell,
Hold on. I'm just gonna
man.
take my time here. I'm gonna take my time here and peek.
We
and see what
played
happens.
that so bad.
Yeah, he killed you guys. There's this guy named Wang Lig Hong. Wait, hold on. Don't do anything yet. Just stay there. I'm gonna see. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, report
Look at
that. Report
oh
that.
my God, dude.
Oh, is it the one cheater in like a group of 20?
I'm thinking there's a cheater in this one. I don't think he could have done anything. Yeah.
Oh,
no,
somebody
that's-
just got naded or something.
That's true. It happened that way. I have a friend that actually
Taiwan #1.
the HK Alex Yo. The whole thing that started the whole investigation and
Taiwan #1.
and he told me about something about like 2020 when we did play the stream and there would be one person
Taiwan #1.
cheating.
Oh my God.
The rest were legit cheaters. I think that guy just killed both
The
of us.
same guy.
And,
Taiwan #1.
Yo, Angry is that
Yeah, that's me.
you?
Yep.
Yep.
Taiwan
Wait,
number one. Fuck you.
are you still in here right now, Grim? Still?
Hold on.
China number four.
I'm looking at Angry. I'm looking at Buggy.
Japan number two. Taiwan number one.
Oh my God, Chinese number one, USA number two, Russia number two, USA number eight, okay? Taiwan number three, fuck you, baby. Oh my god.
That's hilarious, dude. This video always cracks me up. Um,
And this is
yeah,
why we don't allow Logan to play or use voice chat when he
yeah.
plays online.
All right, now check this out. This is pretty nuts too.
What you're seeing are not games or videos. They're worlds. Each one of these is an interactive environment generated by Genie 3, a new frontier for world models. With Genie 3, you can use natural language to generate a variety of worlds and explore them interactively, all with a single text prompt. Let's see what it's like to spend some time in a world. Genie 3 has real-time interactivity, meaning that the environment reacts to your movements and actions. You're not walking through a pre-built simulation. Everything you see here is being generated live as you explore it. And Genie 3 has world memory. That's why environments like this one stay consistent. World memory even carries over into your actions. For example, when I'm painting on this wall, my actions persist. I can look away and generate other parts of the world. But when I look back, the actions I took are still there. And Genie 3 enables promptable events, so you can add new events into your world on the fly. Something like another person, or transportation, or even something totally unexpected. You can use Genie to explore real-world physics and movement, and all kinds of unique environments. You can generate worlds with distinct geographies, historical settings, fictional environments, and even other characters. We're excited to see how Genie 3 can be used for next-generation gaming and entertainment. And that's just the beginning. Worlds can help with embodied research, training robotic agents before working in the real world, or simulating dangerous scenarios for disaster preparedness and emergency training. World models can open new pathways for learning, agriculture, manufacturing, and more. We're excited to see how Genie 3's world simulation can benefit research around the world.
But
So
mostly
what?
we will use it to generate realistic porn.
That's kind of what I was saying. Take what Grok did, and now fast forward a year when Genie 4 is rolled out. Genie 5 might be out by then. Imagine what people will be doing with it. Right?
So who is
So
Genie 3? Is this
this
Facebook or is this
is Google.
Google? Okay.
Google is far ahead right now in terms of like the breadth of their technical advances. Google is far ahead. Google's the guy who leads Google AI. He's this guy whose name is Demis Hassabis. So Demis Hassabis is he's a Nobel Prize winner. He won a Nobel Prize in chemistry for because his lab that he led built an AI program that solved protein folding. So he won a Nobel Prize in chemistry because of that. And he leads this lab called DeepMind, which has created Genie 3, and they basically created all of Google's AI products. They built DeepMind built the transformer architecture that is the foundation of every single large language model today. So these guys are like technically they are they are the leaders in the AI space. But Google being Google, because they're a big dinosaur company right now, they've really struggled to take like this absolute leadership position that they have and translate it into leadership in the AI space. So that's why that's why Gemini is not too great right now.
I can't wait for them to build a bunch of AI tools and then just kill it like they do everything else.
Maybe the
Um,
opposite will happen. They'll build a bunch of AI tools, and the AI tools will kill them.
that there's actually a fascinating story about how the tech companies are losing their charm, about the Googles and everything losing their shit, no longer being the place to be, and the
Yeah,
all the employee benefits. It basically was summarizing it as saying, uh, you can still be rich, but be in fear. Um, and
yeah, yeah,
essentially, they're afraid to speak out anymore because
yeah,
companies are cracking down. And someone was like, "Oh, this is not what I expected," and they're like, "Well, you're just becoming corporate America now. That's it.
yeah.
You're the
That's
companies
this
are going to do the
is
companies thing. You want a
of
job, you
course.
stay shut and be quiet. You know."
Yeah, we will build software that will be used to commit a genocide. You will be a good little puppet and do as you're told. Otherwise, you will find a new job. And that's how techno-fascism works. That's just the
I think it
reality.
was called self-defense, just for clarity.
The yes, genocidal self-defense, right? The elimination of this race will save the country.
Jesus.
Where did I hear that before? A short, angry sounding Charlie Chaplin. Yeah. Anyways, that was good. It was good talking to you guys. Did we just lose our Zionist audience with that joke? God damn it. Okay, so let's see who all are eliminated
I
at this
think,
point, all right?
I think,
We
I
got rid
think,
of we
yeah.
got rid
I
of
think
the
you should
Chinese.
rename this as saying the alienation podcast rather than
Yeah,
saying.
we should just call this like the show nobody is ever gonna watch. But I'm doing a recap in my head. We lost China in the previous episode. We lost them again in this episode with the Taiwan number one. We lost MAGA, although I might bring them back if I start my religion, especially if I manage to make Trump like techno Trump be like the deity or something. But yeah, we definitely lost MAGA. Um, we lost. I lost the liberals when I made fun of them getting upset about Grok, and we just lost the Zionists. So there goes my chance of getting funding, guys. Thanks a lot.
I try.
I don't know I don't
Uh,
know what you're blaming us for. We are just here for the ride.
right? Okay. Now he tells me.
We are just here to see how this whole thing implodes on itself.
Yeah, G, G is like Tyler Durden from Fight Club.
Fight
It's that
Club.
scene in the it's that scene in that car where he's like, yeah, he's the one who's driving, but it's actually like, Ed Norton. So G keeps telling Ed Norton that he's the one who's driving, but it's actually him.
Spoilers, dude. Jesus. Not...
Oh, great. We lost the I haven't watched Fight Club in 2025 crowd.
right.
All right, fellas, this was good as always. I'm sure this will be the one that makes us go viral amongst
All
some
the people who
some
will give up watching us.
some demographic, maybe, maybe. Who knows? All right, but all right, guys, this was fun. I'll post this and we'll do another one. We'll talk about we'll talk about that other topic. There's some fascinating stuff that's going on. Some fascinating research about how AI models work and what that tells us about humanity and in possibly the nature of reality. So I'll share some of that
Ooh,
in our next episode. Nice teaser.
fun.
All right, fellas,
All
All right,
right.
man.
this was
See
fun.
you
Take care.
later.
See ya.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.